welcome to Crafting Wellbeing, where we take a creative pause together. I'm Hadriana, and I'll be guiding you through completing this mini project using brush nib marker pens. To get this image, jump along over to Crafting Wellbeing Facebook group. The link is down below, and once you get into there, you'll be able to print this image down. And also there is a mini little video that will come with it to show you what you need in order to take part in this project. So all the pens and the paper. I'll be using, if I put this to the side, I'll be using Ink Lily pens. They're the brand that I'm using. The reason why I mention this, because I'm going to be using numbers which relate to this pen. You can use any substitution of brush nib pens that you have, either by the color or completely change the color to whatever one you would like to use. The technique's the same. So what we're going to do in this particular one, you'll see that we have done all these flowers are the little mini videos that we've already created. You don't need to stop this video and go back and do the others. This project is done so you can start from any position and go back and swap and change whatever order you'd like to do it. So I'm only going to do a few of these because you can see there's quite a lot of foliage here. So I'm going to be doing the stem here, probably some of those stems. We'll see how we get along, but definitely the leaves I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to pick one or two, and then I'll show you that technique. You can continue along the other way. And also I think what I'll do is I'll start with this one here, because I wanted to show how this bud relates to this flower here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just share with you the pen numbers first, and the pen numbers that we're going to be using is 166, 2224 GY, and we've got 56, so I've got for the leaves, so that you'll see that actually we're going to be using the 166 with the 56, and the pink is from the flower. The 131 is the pink color that we used here. So just in case you used a different color or shading of pink, it's the light one from here. So we're going to start off with that one. Oops. So if I get out, as I said, the 56, because the 56 is what we're using for the leaves. So I'm going to treat that in the same way. I'm just opening up my 36 pen, and I'm going to be bringing in my 166, and let me just open up the 131 as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by laying down, and you'll see this is the same technique that we'll use really for all the leaves. So I'm going to start off by laying down the 166, and I'm going to cover the whole thing with that color, like so. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to take the 56, and I'm going to think about here the doming effect. As you know, when you've got when you see a flower that's just ready to bloom, it's a bit like a bulb, isn't it? It's a bit like this. So that's the sort of feeling that we want to get from this as well. So I hope you saw all of that. I just realized that I might have been out of picture. Just in case, what I did is I colored all of this in with the 166. So now I'm coming in with the 56, and I'm going to be, as I was saying, trying to create that dome effect. So I'm going to just, from the bottom here, I'm going to start from the bottom and just do a flick inwards like this, and just making sure that I'm at the base of that bud. You see, I've only gone up a little way. I'm going to swap over to my 166, and I'm just going to pull. So I'm going to the edge of where the 56, the color 56 is stopped, and I'm using the 166 just to soften those edges. I'm going to do the same up the top, but very little, just a few little dabs like this. I'm going to swap over to my 166 and do the same like so. What I'm feeling is I want to bring up the 56, I want to bring it up higher, so I'm going to just bring it up just slightly, a bit higher like so. And I'm going to now do a pickup. I'm going to use my 166 to pick up some of the 56. See, I'm just going to the edge of where the 56 color finishes. I'm just picking it up and finishing it like so. And now I want to make sure that my pen, my nib has got rid of all the dark color. So just want to make sure, because what I want to do now is to really start that blending in. So I'm semi pressing a little firmer just to get that there. Now what I'm going to do is I want to take that pink, that 131, and just at the top, you know, sometimes you can start to see the color of the flower, can't you? Starting to think about coming up. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm taking that pink, and there, I've just created that look, and that's it. I'm going to stop on that one. Very simple. Now we're going to do, as we've got the leaves pens in our hands, let's have a look at doing some of the leaves. I'm going to do the two that's right close to each other to begin with. So again, the same way like we did here, I'm going to just focus on this leaf to begin with, and I'm going to take the 166 and I'm going to colour the whole of that leaf in. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 56 and I'm going to use that to get my shading in, and also some movement in the leaves, because you can see that they seem to be sort of bending towards this way, so curling and bending towards this side. So I'm going to try as much as possible to get that movement in, since it's naturally there. So I'm looking at this one here, these petals, and that bit of leaf is creating a shadow over this leaf, because we're not worrying about where the light's coming from. We're just looking at what shade, what another object or another leaf is creating a shade, a shadow on the other. So that's what we've spotted. I'm going to go in with the 56 just to start creating these shades. So I'm doing it little by little. I'm starting here. And remember your attention just double check that you're not pressing too hard. I know I hold on to the end of this pen, you know, because I do find it much more easier to hold on to it down here than all the way up here. Get more control down here, but I feel as if I need additional control, and I'm always sort of tightening my hands around it. So I've started here, just a little bit there. I'm just swapping over to the 166, because I'm going to be doing it little by little, just to get that. You see, I'm really working, but I'm still light strokes like this. You see what I'm doing? I went over it a little bit. I'll do it again. So around here, you can see that this is going over. So I'm going to take the 56, and I'm just only going to go around this here to start off with. Taking my 166, and I'm going to go over the dark, over where I put the 56, just a little bit, just to calm it down a bit. And now I'm going to adjust the edge and working that in. Gonna do the same, working my way round to here. I'm going to swap over from the 56 to the 166 now. Go over the top of it just slightly to soften it, and then go from the edge up. Alright, swapping right back to the 56. Remember, all of this area here is casting a shadow. This is where we need to make a decision to see how far we want that to go, but we can do that as we're going along. I'm going to take the 56 and just do a few dots. You can see all I'm doing is I'm dotting around there, because I want to be careful of the colour, the dark colour coming in too far. I want to be able to control that a bit with the picking up of the colour. So I've gone back in now with the 166, and I'm just going to dab it over the top and then bring it out just slightly, like so. And now I'm going to work my way back using the pickup method, which is I'm going to use the 166 and take the nib of that to the 56 on the edge and just take a little bit off it and join it onto where the dark part here is and into the brighter part, just to get that blending in a bit better. And also it's a way of bringing up that shade so that it's more going sort of from dark to light nicely. I'll work my way around. You can see I'm still using the 166. Let's say it's like a paintbrush if you think of it in that way. Okay, I'm not going to pick up any more of that colour. I'm just going to see how much is left by dragging it up, because this is another way of getting the other colour off. Depends on what you're doing, is to bring your pen or your nib all the way up to the top like this, because I'm now thinking, yeah, that is creating a shadow over here, but it's not predominant. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this in just to show you. Okay, I've picked up some, but I'm not sure how dark it's going to be, so I'm just going to try it here first, like that. Probably just take off a bit and then go in. Okay, you can do that as well. So that's something you can consider. And see, I'm just going in with the dark pen because I think, or the dark colour, I haven't changed. Every time I'm leaving the 56 in my left hand so that I can pick it up easily to do this. Okay, so you do the same. Have a look. Alright, so now I'm looking at now, how is this showing up on here? Are they casting any shadow or not? I'm going to give it a little bit of a shadow. So I'm going to go back in with pick up, and I'm not sure how strong it is. I'm just going to give it a few dabs there to take off some of the dark colour so that it blends in better. And now what I'm going to do with the 166, I'm now going to be filling out these bits here. I want to do something along the middle here, so I'm going to pick up some more of the 56 with my 144, whoops, and go through the middle. Not yet, we're coming to that one. And there, by doing that, just softly, just adding some depth to it there. I think I might add a little bit more, but down here, see, so that it also has that feel. Okay, so now let's go to this leaf. Again, I'm going to start down here, so if there is any colour left off from the 56, it will come out down here and not interfere with the rest. It's very important that excuse me, it's very important that we do clear out the colour from the nibs, because they absorb the colour. The last thing you want is your colour to change your nib. Okay, so now that I'm finished putting the 166 down, I'm now going to swap my pens over and do the same thing like we did here and use the 56. Now before I get started, I'm having a look to see where there's any sort of shadow, anything casting a shadow, and there isn't much on this one. The only thing is down here, so I'm just going to focus on down there because of that. Just bring this closer to the center, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to be flicking it like this. Hope you can see. And I'm going to go up the other side. So they're the two sides I went up, and I'm going to pause there. I'm going to swap over to my 166, and I'm just going to work that edging in. So I'm going to go over the 56 that we've put down, I want this sort of like an almost hazy look. I'm going to go in and do my pickup straight away with the 166, picking up the 56. And what I'm doing is I'm working my way up the side and up the middle. And what I'm looking at is that I want this, I think I might have bringing it up too much. That's okay. This is why I've got the 166, and that's the wonderful thing about brush nib pens, marker pens, is that you can move that colour around. You can take off a little bit if you need to, and you can always wait until it dries and add some more. See, I'm spending time just picking up the 56 with my 166, and I'm working in that central part of the leaf just as I did there. So making sure that I'm darker here but getting lighter towards the top. Now, as I said, I feel that this is fine enough for this in terms of the shading for both of them. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit, again I'm just going to make sure that it's not too strong by taking off a bit, and I'm just going to add a little bit to the tip like this. Okay, so they're the two leaves. What I want to do now is to show you a bit about the stems. So to do this, I'm using, if I bring this back in again, we've used the 56 and the 131 to complete this bud here, and we've used the 166 and the 56 to do the leaves. Now for the stems, we're going to be using the 166 and the 224 GY. It's grey yellow. So I've got the two. Let me make sure I've got the two right colours in my hands. Yep. The lid's falling off. I tend to, with these, put the lid at the other side because I mix them up, don't know which one's which, and spend quite a long time trying to find out which pen is what. So I try, it doesn't always work, but I try by putting the lid on the back of the end of the pen that I'm not using, and hope that it doesn't fall off. So let's get started with the stems. I am going to go in with my lighter colour again, and this is the 166, and let's do this bit here. So we've got all these stems in here, so let's see how we get on with it. So as I said, I'm going to use the 166, and the thing that I'm going to do with this one is that I'm going to use the lighter colour to mark where I want to put in the stems. So what it's doing, it's bringing my eye towards where really I want to put the stems in, so that it focuses me there because I've spotted them. So I'm just doing that all the way around. All of them, just putting in. And when you're doing these extra little bits, really, well, the thin bits, really use the tip of your pen, the tip of the nib, and take your time. Okay, and as I said, you know, if you're not sure, leave it, come back to it later, because you'll find when you do so, it'll come, you'll see, oh yeah, I could see how that works, and it'll become more obvious to yourself. So I'm now picking up the 244, and I'm going to now start thinking of the 244 being the actual colour that I want for these stems. So I'm going to start off here, and I am going to just colour it in, thinking about where the if there's any shading or not. Just thinking about, yes, there may be some shading there. And that's because what we're going to be doing is still adding the 166. But just because it's dark, it doesn't mean that we can't create some depth, some movement to it. So I'm going to stop on that side, and I'm going to turn around and pick up my 166, and I'm just going to first of all soften that by going over everything and just pressing down a little bit harder than usual, just to get it to soak it in. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the pickup. I'm going to get the 166, pick up a little bit of the 244, and I'm trying to do it as very gently as possible, because if I do it hard, you know, really sort of deeply, then it means that I'm picking up more than I need, and it'd be dark. So again, I've picked up a little bit, and I'm just going to go into here and use some of the colour I've still got onto there. Can you see it's starting to come together now, even if I'm saying it's a dark, you can still create some, you know, some texture, light and shade. I've just swapped over now. Remember, we've already put the colour down so we know where we are. So I'm going to go to here, and I'm just going to very tightly, so think about your pen going under that spot there, like so. I'm only just going to put a dab of the dark. I'm going to do it slightly different this way. And now I'm going to swap back to the 166 and go over it, like so. And now I'm going to do the pickup. So the 166, I'm going to pick up the 244 and gently work my way like this. You see, I'm not even picking up any more of the 244. I'm looking at this. I'm going to make one like that. I feel there should be a bit of a stem there, so it gives you an example. I'm just creating one there. Just swapped over to my 166 and just coming down like this, and then that's it. So we just work our way round. Just do another bit here. So I've swapped round to my 244. Now remember, we did do this part and we made down there dark. So this side we actually want it to be darker so that it shows that it really is underneath. So I'm not going to blend that one in by using the 166. I'm just going to leave it like so. The other side, I'm going to do a pickup because I want to check that when I'm doing this bit that it's dark, but it's not so overpowering, or just the balance is not right. So I'm going to do it in layers by using the pickup method of my 166, taking up some of the 56 like so. So you see what I mean? I want to make sure that I'm controlling it. I want to take off some of that colour now, some of that 224, and now I've got a plain clean 166 to just finish off that bit there. I'm going to do another bit in here. I'm going to swap around, use the 166 this side, I want to make sure that that's underneath. And we're going to do the same. We're going to swap around to our 166 and pick up some 224 and go in like this. Okay, and again I'm going to take off the color because I'm going to make sure that I don't have any 244 on there. So it allows me to go in with the 166. The clean nib. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to do one of these. I'm going to do this one because I want to show you as well how to add you know, a line in if it's not there. So I'm going in with the 144. Actually what I'll do is I'll do it as a pickup. I'm going to use my 166 to pick up some 244, and I'm going to just dab a little. I'm not going to put any more colour onto my pen. I'm just going to use what's there. And there's a line missing, so we're just going to create one like so. And that's it. You can go in a bit more if you want. Yeah, and the same like here. If I just do the pickup the same way, I would be treating these two as leaves, and then this is the stem. I'll be doing the same thing here. I'll be treating this as the stem and that as the leaf. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. What I will do actually before we leave, what I'd like to do is to just go through a little bit about what's left on this part of the leaves. So here, for example, it's sort of curled inwards. Do exactly the same thing. Go in with your base color, which is the 166. Just going to quickly just color that in. And I'm going to go in with the 244 again, because the rose is over that leaf and I really want to show it's behind. Because the rose is of a dark color, I am going to use the 244 straight down on the paper, and now I'm going to get my 166 and just go up a bit like so, and I'm going to start picking, lifting up some of that color and going up, and I'm looking at this area here is where the fold is. So I'm just creating that fold, just following these lines, and now I'm going to do around the edge the same pickup. And sometimes just check that you don't always have to pick up straight away the color. Work it through and check to see if you do need any. That's quite dark. Just want to go over that a bit. There we go. That's better. And that's how you sort of work it out. So I'm just going to use my pen a little bit just to show you. So this is underneath these two here, and you're looking at here again. How are these two looking, these flowers and these leaves going over? This one seems way underneath there and there. This one is like so on top. That is clearly coming out from there. And this one here, we've got this is under these, and then we got this leaf which is under there, and we've got this, the rest of this leaf. So you can see there's shading here. In there is going to be a dark bit, so remember the same principle, but here, because of the way that the leaf is sort of turned in on itself, that bit's going to be dark. Then we've got here where they're both where it's under this leaf, we've got this one here which is under that leaf, and then we got the shading here and here. Do it here, there's one here. So wherever I'm putting the green down is where I want you to sort of think about where your shading's going to be. So it's going to be the same here and so on. So that's the end of this session. I hope that you found this useful, and please remember to go into the Facebook group and download the file, and look out for the rest of the links to the rest of these tutorials that come along with this, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye. Thank you for crafting along with me. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel. You are welcome to join Crafting Wellbeing community on Facebook. The link is down below. Goodbye and see you soon.